Hey, everybody. Welcome to Making Connections. This is your girl, Allie. I hope everybody is having an amazing day. Listen, you saw the different flyers going across the screen. There is the community parade that started today the parade was earlier this morning, but they're still having a festival. The festival starts at 12 noon. That's the historic Hoskins Community Parade. There's a domestic violence awareness event going on. There's all kinds of stuff happening this month. And so the Black Family Reunion is happening in Charlotte next Saturday. So listen, look these things up. Get in the Kingdom group. They have all kinds of awareness, and they'll let you know all the different things that are going on. You can get the address, contact information, but the Kingdom group, and then we try to post too in our group. So, but there's always something going on in the community. And we also know that not only is it Domestic Violence Awareness Month, but breast cancer awareness. And so we have with us today Miss Beth Rutherford. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm good.
Good, good. Well, welcome to the show. It's good to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me.
So since this is your first time being on the show, I want to give you opportunity just to introduce yourself a little bit, and then we'll jump into the interview, and I'll ask you all kinds of questions about yourself.
Okay. My name's Beth Rutherford. I am 52, almost 53. October 6th is my birthday. So, woo woo.
All right.
Um, I have a 16-year breast cancer survivor, triple negative, and I had five diagnoses in the first 5 years. So my
Oh,
last diagnosis for breast cancer was in 2012, and then I lived 6 more years with the implants in. I think those 6 years were harder than the 5 years with cancer.
oh.
Those are the years I thought I was really dying because nobody could tell me what was wrong. Once I
Mm-hmm.
took the implants out 4 years ago, it's just night and day difference. Um, I did also get diagnosed with another metastatic melanoma last year, and I just finished treatment for that because that's a year-long treatment. So, and I didn't realize that melanoma will kill you faster than breast cancer.
Really?
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
what
know
the
that
doctor told
either.
me. I know. I was like, they never told me how long I had to live when I had breast cancer. They did when I had melanoma.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, goodness. Well, we're glad you're here today to share your story with us. I
Yeah.
know for some people, um, I've asked before to be on the show. It's kind of hard for them still to tell their story. So I'm glad that you're able to be with us and share with us, you know, a little bit of your journey. Um, because I think there's other people going out, and a lot of people suffer in silence,
Yes.
and they don't want people to know or how they're feeling, or they try to be strong. But oh my goodness, what would you tell
Yeah.
somebody who, maybe, I mean, this could be their third diagnosis, their first, but they're trying to be strong for everybody else and not really sharing what they're going through?
Right. And I would say that so I raised my two kids. My youngest was 8 and 5. They were 8 and 5 when I got diagnosed. So then they went to 13, you know, and the one thing I regret, I think, is not showing them the sad side. Is always showing them the strength, the strength, the strength, and not allowing them to see, they go to school and I would come home and cry.
Mm,
So I never showed that to them. And I wish that I had shown it a little bit more. I think it might have helped them, especially later on in life. As I get older, I'm going to need more help when I get sick.
mm.
So,
And what difference
but
do you think that would have made for them as you guys went through this journey?
um, I think they would have realized that mom can't do it all.
Mm,
I think we're so ingrained that we do everything for our kids that we don't. It's a it's a culture shock when they're out on their own, is what my son said. He just turned 25 October 3rd, and he's in
wow.
his first apartment, graduated with an engineering degree. He's got his master's, and you know, for him, the only thing that he could control at 8 years old was his grades. So he went from needing tutoring in third grade. That year I got diagnosed when I went into chemo. He didn't need tutoring anymore, and they do state standardized testing here, and he got perfect scores on all his standardized testing.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, why am I paying for tutoring?
What was going
So
on?
yeah.
But
And then
it
I
did.
have a child. Yeah, I have one, a 5, well, she was 5. She is now 21. She had a brain injury when she was 1.
Mm,
So learning has been quite a challenge for her. She doesn't learn like your typical way. She can't read is the biggest thing. Anything visual, she's fantastic at. She's a fantastic makeup artist. She's the one that's doing the makeup for the haunted fest that I went to.
oh,
She's
really?
doing all their makeup. Yeah. So God has given her a gift. It's amazing what she can do with makeup. As
Wow.
you can see in my one in my pictures there, she did my makeup for her.
Yeah, that's
But
a pretty.
yeah, now she, because I think she's at home during this diagnosis, is seeing more of, because you can't hide it but so much when
Mm,
they're there 24/7.
right, right. And I know you said something, you said three negative or something like that. So
Hmm.
some of the
Triple
terms, can you
negative.
say what that meant? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So there's different types of breast cancer. You have hormone related, whether it's estrogen or progesterone. Um, so it'd be estrogen positive or progesterone positive, and that just means that's what's feeding the cancer. Like the estrogen would be feeding the cancer.
Mm,
When it's triple negative, it means they don't know what's feeding the cancer.
oh,
It's not your hormones. It's not. It could be environmental. It could be what you're eating. There's just nothing. And usually, triple negative, I think, is linked with like because I'm BRCA1 positive, which is the genetic gene. Um, so there's BRCA1 and BRCA2. I think they've come out with other ones since then, but those are the two main ones.
okay.
And BRCA1, from the research that I've done, is the one that comes back the most frequent in the beginning.
Mm,
So, and mine converted. I started out as estrogen positive for a year. I had chemo, surgery, and then chemo, and that was supposed to be it. And then it came back in the lymph nodes. So I had radiation.
mm,
Um, then I managed to go back to work for a year and 1 month, woo woo, so I could get full time benefits when I got sick again. Yeah, I
yeah.
know. So I got disability on full time benefits. I'm not complaining. God is good.
Right, right.
So,
And you're
but
an
and
RN,
it
right?
switched to hmm.
Because you're
Sorry,
an RN, right?
what was that? Yes, that's the only reason why I'm alive is because I'm a registered nurse.
Mm,
Because I knew what to push for and when to say this. No, you might think it's the medicine, but this is something else. And that's what happened for 6 years with the implants. Kept going. I was saying, I don't. There's something wrong. I'm not saying it's cancer, but if this is living after cancer, what's the point? Because there
oh,
was no, you had no quality.
wow.
So the implants cause a lot of autoimmune issues. So my body just got tired of fighting something that wasn't part of it. So
Hmm.
I feel much more me without the implants.
And you had to deal with that for 6 years?
Yeah, so a total of 11 because I had them put them in 2007 and they didn't come out till 2019.
Oh,
But when they came out, it was like, and everybody came running over and they're like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm like, oh my God, somebody took the elephant off my chest. I didn't even know it was sitting there
oh, wow.
because you don't even realize how heavy it is.
Hmm.
And it had calcified to my rib cage. So my ribs had to be shaved down over the heart in order
Good,
to get all the capsule out. Yeah.
good.
So what I have
So,
found what is that they don't tell women that these implants need to be changed every 7 to 10 years. All implants, doesn't matter whether it's saline, silicone, they all need to be changed. They have a shelf life.
really?
Hmm. And
I
doesn't even if
mean,
it's for cosmetic reasons.
okay, where is this information at? Now implants have been out for quite a while, and the doctors know
Hmm.
this. So, where's the information? Why are they not sharing all these things?
I don't know what's up with the doctors. They finally did get it in 2019 or 2020. It's called a black box label, so that
Mm,
the implants are marked so that people know that this is you're putting something in that could hurt you. Not
oh,
that they ever told us. It's kind of like a manufacturing line, like, oh, you're diagnosed. Okay, here you can pick your new boobs, oh, which do not look like new boobs. Okay, so
mm,
that's a misnomer that you have breast cancer, so you get a boob job. No, it don't.
right.
And so it's on the FDA website. Because they called back some silicone, and then they've called back like texturized salines, the mentors. But you know, we have to remember that no matter what, there's silicone, even if it's a saline, because of the sac the it's a that's what's holding it in is the silicone. So
Right.
and then your body forms a capsule over the boob, over the implant. It forms its own capsule. That's
Mm,
how the body fights it. And
okay.
it when they take the implants out and or exchange them, whether it's taking them out or putting them back in, they have to make sure they get that capsule out too. Otherwise, you just keep getting more and more capsules, and that makes it the effects of breast implant illness even worse.
Good gracious.
And many doctors do not want to admit that there is such a thing called breast implant illness.
Still?
Still, I
Wow.
think they're seeing it. Yeah, mine didn't. And
How
there's
can
something
you?
called flat denial when yeah, because well, for me, it was time for my exchange, so I didn't know I was going flat. I went in for my plastic surgeon appointment, and he's like, "Oh, we have this new technique. We can take the implant out from behind the muscle, put on top of the muscle, put the sling on." I was like, "You know what? Well, put me down on the book because something's got to happen." And
Mm,
I
right.
went back for the report, and I was like, "You know what? I just want to go flat. I don't want to do this because that means at 47, 57, 67, I'm like, oh no, no, I don't want to do surgery every 10 years because they have to be changed." And he
Yeah.
said, "Well, do you want me to leave you some extra skin in case you change your mind?" What's like, no, I'm not going to change my mind. And I know I won't like that.
Right. Right.
So, but when men are in charge of the body, they think, I'm like, no, they make prosthetics and they make prosthetics that you go swimming with, everything.
Mm, true.
But
So,
they do.
no,
I'm
all
happy to.
sorry, I keep interrupting. I think we got a little lag going on, but um, knowing everything that you know now, what is something you wish you knew before you started your treatments?
I wish I had known about the implants making you sick. That the misdemeanor that it's just the silicone that make you sick versus the saline. I think I would have enjoyed those 6 years of of not having all the tests and going to the doctors and what you literally it's and I'm sure other women can relate. You have to fight for every test, like for every scan, every I mean, and all mine were sent. They were read wrong, or they were sent to the wrong doctor, or it. You just really have to stay on top of it when you have a CT and they give you, or even when you have a mammogram and they do your mammo and they're calling you and they say, okay, normal dense boobs. That's your report. But without reading through the findings, because like mine said, benign mass noted to the left anterior. Well, you can't tell it's benign on a CT or mammo. You have to biopsy it.
Mm,
So unless you read that in there, but then at the bottom it said, the reading that was normal dense boobs.
wow.
So, and when I asked, he said, we would have caught that when you came in for your yearly. And I'm like, you're assuming a 37-year-old is on time for their yearly exams.
Right.
I mean, because we're not.
Right. And and with in this day and age, I don't know if they still tell you you don't have to start till 40, but I'm like, you need to start younger than that. Just, what's the problem with starting early and insurance should pay for it. This is
Amen.
preventive.
And there's women, I met women this past summer that were like 30, 29, 31 getting diagnosed. I mean, they're getting diagnosed younger and younger.
Hmm. Yeah.
Both my kids have to worry if they carry the genetic gene. My son does not want to be tested. And of course, they want me to test my daughter. But with that, because if you're BRCA1, there's also a 60% chance of ovarian cancer.
Mm,
So usually when you find out if you're BRCA1 or BRCA2, not only do you take your breast, but you take your ovaries and you have a complete hysterectomy because ovarian cancer is hard to catch. Just, so
mm, wow. Yeah. So there is that genetic testing, and how do they usually do that?
well, for me, because it was back in 2007, so it was still kind of new. I had to go to MCV, which was our medical college, and have the genetic counseling and everything. For me,
Mm,
it's linked to my Jewish heritage, even though I kept telling them I'm not Jewish. But apparently, that Ashkenazis Jewish, which is Northern Europe, or it's the Polish side. I'm the Russian side. I'm Belarus side. So it's up that way is the BRCA1 and BRCA2 gene. So
Oh, okay. Wow.
and then apparently the melanoma is genetic too. So hey, I got the Jewish side, and then I got the island side.
They shared everything with you, huh?
That's what I said. I know when they said when he goes, you really are one third of one third. I was like, what's that supposed to mean? He goes, well, it's like somebody took you from Ireland and dropped you right in Russia. I'm like, oh, that's nice to know.
Oh no.
So,
Goodness. Well, while you were going through this, what was your biggest like self-discovery? I've heard some people say, I didn't realize I was so resilient. I didn't realize that I didn't realize how weak I was or how much I needed other people. So, what was one of your biggest self-discoveries, through this journey?
my biggest self discovery, I think, was this. Oh, are you there? Did I just lose you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Okay.
Can you see me still?
Your screen is black for some reason.
Well,
But
I'll
I can
keep
hear
talking
you.
while I figure it out.
Okay.
Um,
Did you get
so yes, I felt it was getting to, like you said, it was one realizing that you needed other people, and for me, it was realizing that I could.
Uh-oh. We lost Beth for a second, but you guys stay tuned with us. She will be back. I'm sure she'll reconnect. But again, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But listen, we don't just check ourselves. We don't just get our treatments or, get our exams in the month of October. We should really be doing self exams throughout the year, making sure we're okay. If we find any lumps, if we find anything that seems abnormal, have your doctors check it. I mean, listen, that's what they're there for. And I know you don't want to seem like a hypochondriac, but that's what we have to do to take care of ourselves. So wherever you do, let's be, mindful of our bodies throughout the entire year. This is
Hmm.
just a month that we try to remind everybody about that.
And men should check too because men can get breast cancer too.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that was something that, kind of shocked me. I mean, it makes sense, but it
right.
kind of shocked me when I found out. I was like, oh, yeah, they got breasts too,
And I
you know?
and I think too the BRCA gene, and I may be mistaken, but I think it's related. They can get prostate cancer or colon cancer too if they carry that gene.
Oh, okay.
So
Let's see. I have to do some more research on those genes. I don't think I've ever heard those terms before.
really BRCA1 and BRCA2, yeah. And then there's another one because there's HER positive cancer too, which is a different type of. I'm not exactly sure, but that one is even harder to treat as far as breast cancer goes. It requires a different type of treatment. So.
Wow. And I'm gonna let you get back to your question, but it's just so amazing. It's like, you think nothing is just like a one-stop shop. What worked for somebody else may not work for you. So in this area, like you were saying, Beth, you really have to be your own advocate. You have to know,
Mhm.
okay, how does this medicine make me feel? How does this chemo make me feel? Do your
And how do
research.
they interact? Because
Yeah, yeah. And so,
I'm gonna tell you, by the time five diagnoses, I'm sorry,
oh
excuse
no.
me, they had, I knew exactly how much mag citrate I would have to take to go to the bathroom because I'd be so constipated.
Mm,
By number five, I had it down exactly. I knew what, and you have to be very on top of what works for you.
right. Absolutely. Wow. And see,
Hmm.
it's so much to the conversation, but I want to go back to, your biggest self-discovery about yourself. I think that's when we kind of lost you for a second.
I think the biggest self discovery too is learning that it's okay to be depressed and to
Mhm.
talk yourself out of it because I beat myself up because I feel like, oh, I'm not being productive. I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough. And I keep having to remind myself, Beth, you're fighting cancer. You're doing enough. Like it doesn't have to. So it's that, we're ingrained. You have to be productive. You have to be productive. What have you given? What are you giving to society? How you, and the fact that I can get up in the morning and breathe, and I've made it a point that I go to friends' houses and make and fit myself in their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they can't get together because they have to cook and do homework and this, and I'm free, I'll go and I'll sit with them while they cook, or they'll help the kids do homework. And it makes me feel needed, even though they probably are like, why is she here again? But
No, I'm sure they love to
so,
see you. But it's just it's a lot. So, okay, even you're talking about being productive. Thinking you have to do so much, and you have children. Oh my gosh, I really can't imagine. I mean, my mom has gone through this process, but still, I don't know how she felt. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And it's that same thing we talk about with men when they retire. They have to feel productive. They have to feel like they're functioning part of society still. But how did you tell yourself, like you were saying, okay, Beth, you have to take care of you. Beth, you have to focus on your healing journey. How did you get there and be able to, function in both areas?
Well, I think I'm still trying to get there. It's always going to be that process, but like you said, having the two kids definitely gives you the motivation of what you got to get up for and show up for your doctor's appointment for. Because I've had a lot of women ask me or say, I would never be able to make it to all my appointments. And I'm like, well, if you're looking at life or death, you make it to your appointments. I mean, what's the alternative? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And my kids, because of this, really have gotten to know God. They walked through my faith journey with me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Matter of fact, Adam was when Adam was 8, it was his birthday. It's that first year I was bald, ball cap on, and he wanted something from a store. I wasn't working, so money was tight. And I'm like, all right. And I went ahead and bought it because you know how parents are. And
Right.
so he wanted to look some more at another, and I'm like, you go on and look at that store. I'm gonna go sit down at that chair. And it was way on the other side. And I'm like walking over there, and a seat came up and I sit down and I'm looking at my phone and I can see someone out of the corner of my eye just staring at me. And she goes, I turned and I just smiled and said hello. And she said, can I ask you a question? I said, sure. And it was this little petite black woman and she said, how do you do it? And I said, how do I do what? And she's like, go through it, get through chemo and do it and all that. And about this time my son had walked up and he's standing next to me and I looked up at him in his face and I looked at her and I said, by Christ, it's only by Christ can I get up and do this. And, we had exchanged a few more pleasantries and everything. And she thanked me and said, you know what? I'm sitting here. I just got diagnosed with colon cancer and I'm deciding whether or not to go through chemo or not. She said, I think God put you here for a reason. I'm going to do it. And so as we're walking away, my son looks at me and he goes, Mom, that was so amazing. That was just amazing. Now, I thought he forgot about it because he was 8 years old, and
Mm-hmm.
he went to Liberty for his master's program and he had to write a paper and he actually picked that story to write about that he remembered it.
Really?
Yes, I mean I was like so that's just strictly God. So it's being able to look back at where he's moved and how he's moved, which has helped.
Mm, wow. Listen, these
Like
stories, I really love to share because somebody out there needs to hear these stories. Somebody out
yes.
there needs to be reminded that you're not alone. Somebody needs to be reminded, because I don't know how to really ask this question, but did you ever really prepare for death? Like, did you ever just be like, okay, in case I don't make it, this is what needs to be done. This is what needs to be put in place. What are some of the thoughts you had in that arena?
Well, for me, number one is because I have a special needs child that it
Mm-hmm.
makes it that tenfold to make sure everything is in place. Like, because we have custody of her, well, guardianship actually, because she's 21. Um, but my whole mission in life is to make it so that she can live independent, so that when something does happen to me, that she's able to live on her own. Which she told me this past year, Mom, I got it, I can do this. So, um, because I mean, I wasn't, when I got diagnosed with melanoma, I was like, nope, I'm not doing treatment. I've had 27 rounds of chemo, numerous surgeries, radiation. I'm done. I'm not doing anything else. He said, well, Beth, you got 6 months. I'm like, 6 months? Like,
Wow.
okay, I guess I'm doing treatment. Like, I mean, you really like, okay, well, that was really putting it quite so. And I'll say the Keytruda, I did Keytruda for a year, which is it's a newer drug for breast cancer that's one of their first tier drugs now, which wasn't available when I first got diagnosed, which was the only other reason why I thought, okay, well, maybe it'll work on both cancers since I apparently have two metastatic cancers.
Mhm.
So, you know, but
Wow.
God, I prayed for the 10 years I wanted to see my kids graduate, and God gave me that. So now it's like, not only were those 10 years a blessing, but now every day after is even that much more of a blessing.
Mhm. I definitely get that.
I just have to tell myself that every day. It's easy to talk to you about it and say it to you out loud, but
Mhm.
you have to say it to yourself out loud every day
Exactly. Exactly.
because I'm not who I was at 37. I'm not, I'm not that strong ER nurse anymore.
Mm.
I'm strong
And
in other ways.
right, exactly. You're strong for everybody else because this has really caused you to be a advocate for others, right? And so,
Yes.
what does that look like, in your daily journey or helping somebody else along the way?
I talked to many women on the phone in reference to cancer and treatments and the implants and um they've gotten real good at getting it out there with this aesthetic flat closure, getting to so people know that this is another option. But it's we need to get to the people that are my age or the ones that had implants because of breast cancer or implants for just cosmetic reasons to let them know that probably 90% of your problems, if they're any type of immunotherapy, are related to the implants. So I see
Mhm.
somebody's on there.
Hey, Chiquina,
Hey, Chiquita.
you're muted. Hey,
There you
Lay.
go.
Hey, hey. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're
We're
good.
in the middle of I'm gonna turn the camera, see if I can turn the camera some. But we are in the middle of our beginning stretching. Um to get ready to head.
I want to be out there so bad.
So you'll see. I'm just gonna take you come down some.
Okay.
So this is International Flat Day. They're in San Francisco. They're going to walk over the bridge.
Wow.
So it's like 100 flat or more than 100. It's like, wow. Wow,
That's
Chiquina, that's a lot.
Wow. And I'm not even halfway around the circle.
that's
So
good.
Wow.
100.
this is, I don't know if you can see where the
Wow.
Golden
Wow,
Gate
that's
Bridge
amazing.
behind us.
Mhm.
Yes, I see it. How
So,
long is the Golden Gate Bridge?
That's what I was going to ask.
yeah, so there's the bridge behind us. Um, Let me see if I can grab someone that actually I have a perfect person we can grab. She is the head of um, a cancer organization. She's gonna let her tell you who she is, but she brought many women down um, to join in. She's a cancer survivor herself. However, just going to let her introduce herself really quickly. So
Okay.
you are on with a host
Hello.
out of
How are you?
Allie. You're in what, North Carolina?
North Carolina.
And she has
Can you hear me?
one of our sisters on, Beth. I don't know if you met Hi, Beth. Ladies. And
Hello.
Hello.
you to introduce yourself and tell about your group.
Yeah. So I'm Sandy Betancourt Keys, and I'm the founder of the California Breast Cancer Support Group. Started on a Facebook group about 3 years ago after I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And now, as of probably about 4 months ago, I started a nonprofit, and we're able to financially help our pink sisters in California. So
That's great.
That's
nice meeting
amazing.
you.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for sharing. We've been, trying to bring more awareness about breast cancer and about the flat journey and, just how, bringing more understanding to the options that women have these days. Hello
Yeah.
there.
And we
Good
have
morning.
Pixie.
So I want to say good morning to everyone and talk about how they've helped me, how this group has helped me.
Okay.
For in March of this year, I they thought that my breast cancer had spread to my spine. Make a long story short, I was out of work, and this flat retreat was given to me by her organization and many others, but she spearheaded it along with Lisa, and it's about togetherness, and it's about moving beyond the pain and focusing on each other. And I wouldn't be here
It's
without her organization.
right. It's that sisterhood. It's an
Thank you.
unwanted sisterhood, but it's a sisterhood.
Mhm. Thank you for joining us and sharing.
I'm sorry, guys.
We
You
caught
caught
you.
me as I was putting a bite of a fruit bar in my mouth before we got ready to energize on here. But
So, how long is the walk across the bridge?
we are going to do 1 mile across the bridge, and
I'd have to
after
get your
that
ride back.
mile, then we're going to go to the park and have some. I've been told that we have some. There's some surprises for us, so I'm not sure what those surprises are.
Okay.
But
Well, snag some for me, Jakina.
here is Christy. Christy was on a guest on your show the other day, so this is
Yeah,
Christy preparing and getting ready.
Hi, Christy.
So,
I wish I was there with you.
I
so
know.
she actually gave us all these bandanas, and she said that the history behind the bandanas are, they tend to be told that they are used as a symbolize as a rebel.
Hmm.
So she is looking at, we are rebelling against cancer, and we are taking a stand that with breast, without breast, we are all beautiful, we are flat, we are fabulous, and to bring more awareness to the different options after we are diagnosed with cancer.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So I might get a chance to go back live a little bit later. I want to save a little bit of my juice because I see it's already running down, and we're not even halfway. We haven't even started the day yet. But I will be on the Strong Will Survivor page throughout the morning. It's
Okay.
9:42 our time here in California, so I guess it's what
12.
11, almost 12 noon or a little
Mm-hmm.
bit after.
12:42. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Um,
going on one.
so no, almost 1 o'clock actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just if you guys get an opportunity to just go in and check on the Strong Will Survivor page, and
Okay.
I'll be posting all types of pictures and photos and different just everything that's been going on and the love that we've been receiving from over here.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, see,
Well,
I
thank
missed
you for
it.
jumping
All
in.
right. See you. I'll see you in 2 weeks. I guess she'll disconnect. I'm going to pick Jakina up for the Miami retreat.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And so, what's
Yeah.
happening in Miami? What type of
There's
retreat is it?
another retreat. It's the last, it's called the Beehive that puts this on. And it's the last weekend in October, and it's a Miami walk. So it's
As you
a
can tell, we're getting a little
American
bit
breast
loud. I'm
cancer.
sorry. So I'm gonna go ahead and call and go off for a while.
Okay.
All right. Be blessed,
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
sweetheart. Bye,
See you
sweetie.
soon, Beth.
Yeah. Yes. Yay. So I messaged her the other day and I'm like, oh, my husband's got a company car. And I'm like, I'm going to drive it to Miami. You want to go? So I'm going to pick her up in Atlanta or in Augusta and then head down from there.
Okay. And so, and that's a flat retreat as well.
Yeah. I think they had a total of five of them.
Mm.
The one out in California, this one is the biggest because it falls on International Flat Day. So that's why they
Mhm.
planned. Last year we were in Colorado and we did the most flatties. on the largest flat top mountain in the world.
Oh,
So that
wow.
was last year. And this year they're walking the Golden Gate Bridge. So yeah, I wanted
Listen.
to go, but it's so expensive out there.
Hmm. That's more than 100 people. That's a wonderful turnout.
Yeah, it
Oh my
is. Yeah,
gosh.
but
Wow.
yeah,
And so are you doing a walk when you're in Florida as
Miami.
well?
Yes, yeah. We have a walk here in Richmond on the 15th that we're doing. It's Stand Tall AFC Body Positivity is the team.
Okay.
Um, and they're walking with American Cancer Society, and that, the American Cancer Society for the one in Miami as well.
Okay.
So, but
Wow.
if anybody wants to donate, it's called Stand Tall AFC, and they're a nonprofit. It's called Not Putting on a Shirt, to help women get to retreats and stuff like this. I don't think women realize that you get so used to fighting it on your own in that cocoon that, and then when you start to see that other women have done it and they've survived it, and it is a camaraderie that you just can't explain.
Mhm. Yeah. Just the last lady that shared before Jakina came back, just saying, I mean, because sometimes you'll know about things like that, but like you said, maybe you don't, maybe because you're still going through, you don't have the funds to get there.
It's scary.
So,
It's scary to go somewhere by yourself. And
yeah.
I got a trip. So Casting for Recovery is another nonprofit organization which I applied for. I thought it was pictures or something like this that you and I are doing. And then when they called me, they said, "Congratulations, you've been selected to do Casting for Recovery." I'm like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "You're gonna have so much fun fly fishing." I was like, "Fly fishing?" Oh, yes. I was like, "Oh, okay." I didn't see that one coming. Casting for Recoveries. I guess I should have. No, I
Yeah.
was like, huh. So I loved it. I had a great time. Of course I had a little incident and stuck my finger with the hook,
Oh no.
but yeah. But that was their mistake. They gave us all hats and they had big hooks on them. And then someone had attached a little teeny tiny laurel on the big one. And I said, "Come on, guys, let's go." And I put my, whoa,
No.
yeah, and it was attached. I was like, "Just pull it out." I've had so many surgeries. They made me go down to the ER to have it taken out.
Oh no. Oh my
I
God.
know. They were like, "This was human error." And I'm like, "Not this human error. Like, I didn't put it there." And the lady goes, "No, no, no. It was our human error." I was like, "Okay, I'm just checking." Because,
Yeah.
like, I'm known as the 420 girl, you
Uh-huh.
know. And so
Uh-huh.
she's like, "Oh, well, at least we're both the 420 girls." I looked at her. I said, "Oh, no, no, no. I'm not 420 in it yet. I did this one." So, like, you're not blaming this on that.
Right.
I was like,
Right.
"Nope, nope, nope." Has yeah.
Oh
So,
my gosh. Yeah, that's not very.
because I will say that I do use marijuana for pain relief. That
Hmm.
is that's been Virginia finally got legal, although you have to grow your plants.
Really?
Yeah, you can't buy it, you have to grow them. Some
Wow.
of us don't have green thumbs.
Yeah. Wow. So what's that
So
process like? Do you have to get a doctor's
it's
approval?
extremely, yes. I mean, so I got my medical marijuana license last year from an HCA hospital here in the Richmond area. Then I got fired as their patient because God forbid I want to do treatment for the other cancer at the VCU with the expert on melanoma. So she
Hmm.
said, "No, he's your cancer doctor, period." So they dropped me from everything. Well,
Good.
apparently MCV or VCU, they can't write an order because they can't do the marijuana card because it's not federally legal yet. I'm like, what? And Bond Secure won't do it because it's a Catholic facility.
Mm.
So I'm like, I told the doctor, I said, I don't want to have to increase my pain medication because I can't get medical marijuana card. But
Right. Right.
yeah, you can pay like online and get it paid, I'm like, what? Do you know how thick my medical records are? It's probably like this big.
Right. Right.
So you should just be able to show somebody your chest and say, "This is why." I would do it, but I don't want to embarrass you.
You're fine. You're fine. I just
So,
think that's so cool. I saw all the ladies without their shirts on and stuff, so that was cool.
oh
So,
yeah, well, my stars are beautiful. You can see it.
There you
That's the side that got shaved. You can see my heartbeat.
go. Uh-huh. Oh, wow.
And then this is the melanoma side. They did what was called a swimmer's chest or it's called a Goldilocks.
Mhm.
So now I'm sure the people in aesthetic flat closure will say that's not a true aesthetic flat closure, which I never claimed to be an aesthetic flat closure. I
Mhm.
just wanted everything out and cleaned up. So,
Right.
you know,
Right.
but yeah, I feel much better. I don't like how I look, but I didn't like how I looked before. So, but I feel better, and that's what
I was
matters.
gonna say not liking the way you look and feeling bad. That's all the combination. At least we're you know taking
Right.
something away. So
Yep.
that process, like, is it multiple surgeries? Can they do it all at once, or?
As far as putting the implant in, it's two surgeries because they put when you have the um, mastectomies, they put in the implant, the muscle expander at the time. So they have to pull the muscle off the wall. So you go in every week and they expand the expander, they add saline to pull it off. So it's ripping the muscle off the wall. Then once that's done, yeah, no, then they go in and put the implant in. The concept behind taking the implants out is that this pec muscle is supposed to lay back down automatically. I don't think that didn't happen. Mine had been stretched out for 10 years. And
Mhm.
I'm having to do a lot of physical therapy and occupational therapy. Physical therapy, and then they said because my implants and my pectoral muscle held my upper body up for 10 years, that I have no back muscles now. So I'm having to get the back muscles because now the pec muscle isn't attached. So there's nothing holding me up in the front. So now I got to work on the back muscle to help hold me up.
Wow,
So, and
that's a.
that's the big thing that I've noticed in the AFC community is a lot of us are losing that core because we
Mhm.
don't have anything up here to carry.
Mhm. Wow. You just don't think about.
You don't. But taking them out was just the one surgery. It was harder because I actually had hair. You know, when I had my mastectomies, I was bald. So when you have the drains and everything, washing your hair is fine. But when you have the drains and, it's like, oh crap, I gotta wash my hair like that.
Oh no.
So, but
And so, just even that process, you saying expanding the. Ooh, that was it.
yeah. And a lot of women, after the expanders go flat, the expanders are too much.
Mm,
Or not a lot. It's getting more and more because now that women are seeing that there is another option. And I think they've come out with another way where they can go in and it's not really an aesthetic flat closure because they're actually leaving like a mound, but they're taking out all the breast tissue and just kind of leaving all the fatty deposits. So you still have two little bumps to fill
okay.
out. But, again, it's preference, I reckon.
Mm, mm, mm. And I think we talked about this a little bit, with your children and everything like that. But sometimes it's hard for the family members. We know that, you guys are the ones going through, but it's still hard for us to watch, everything that you're going through, you're suffering, and, not knowing what to do, not
Yeah,
knowing
it is.
how to help. So, what is something that you can express to family members or a support person who's watching a loved one or a friend go through this journey? What kind of advice would you give for them?
Um, to be patient and that it's not necessarily words. Well, I will say when you go to treatment with somebody, like I realized I used to always bring a girlfriend with me for treatment. Well, when I had melanoma, I'm like, nope, I'm gonna make my husband go. He's got. Well, I realized why I wasn't making my husband go because he don't talk. He still works.
Mm,
So, it's having somebody there that to take your mind off of what you're doing there. You know,
yeah.
it makes it a lot easier. And then going to lunch afterwards because usually you're going to be in the bed for a couple of days after treatment. So I learned to always ask for extra fluid during the treatment because they have to flush the line anyway. So I'm like, can you spike the bag? Can you just fill it? Just go in because that keeps you hydrated.
Mm,
Because that dehydration is the biggest thing with chemo and all of
mm.
this.
Yeah, and what would be some tips that you would give somebody who's, this is their first time going through this journey? What would be some helpful tips? even preparing for the day of chemo or radiation, and then how to help hydrate their body and keep them going
Mm.
afterwards.
Well, to prepare, I bring, depending on how long you're in, like, make sure you bring something to read or something if you're gonna, uh, and definitely make sure you've got at least one person with you. Don't go to these by yourself. Drink plenty of water, or, like I said, the bags of fluid, if they'll get it, and I had to start asking the doctor, because you see the doctor before, usually you have blood work, see the doctor, and then you go in for treatment. And I would always say to the doctor, make sure you have a standing order for the fluid. Um, it's there's really there's really no way to prepare, I don't think. One, because everybody is different. Like when I first got sick at 37, I had never had any steroid. I'd never been sick really.
Mm-hmm.
So when that first treatment, after I went back in, I was just shaking like this, and I thought that was the chemo. And he's like, "Oh no, no, that's the steroid. We just need to lower your steroids." So
Mm-hmm.
you do want to tell your doctors how you're feeling, because there may be something that they can do to help you. Like
Yeah.
they give you all kinds of medicine, nausea medicine, medicine for your mouth, everything.
Okay.
Um, but a lot of we just can't suck things up in silence.
Right.
If you say it, there's usually something they can do. Yes, it might be another pill, or it may be that they need to lower back something.
Right.
So, because I had an allergic reaction to the oh, Exlodia, which is called 5-FU. It's usually for stomach cancer, but it's like second or third tier drug for breast cancer, but it's an
Mm-hmm.
oral one.
Mm-hmm.
And I started July 1st, and by July 5th, I was in the hospital. And I was just dehydrated. I couldn't even lift my head up, and I was having a reaction to it. But um, so don't be afraid to reach out to the doctors, because that's what they get paid for.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I know Jakina was talking last week about journaling, just journal,
Mhm.
as often as possible so you remember your treatments or how you felt after treatment this day, or
Yep.
however you felt after this
And
round
take
of
pictures.
drugs. Yeah, yeah,
Because I think I go back now, and I would be okay to see any of my. I don't have any pictures of me bald, and I was bald 3 times. I'm like, I must have really threatened to kill some people if they took a picture.
don't you take
Like,
that picture.
I think I did, because I'm like, damn, they're not even one.
Golly. Nobody snuck a picture. Maybe
And
they
I didn't
had.
wear wigs, so I'm thinking, what? Yeah.
But
Although
yeah,
doing all of that really got my daughter. She's got neon hair now. I mean, everyone's like, how do you let her do that? I'm like, it's hair
right, right,
expression.
right. Wow. Listen, this has been an awesome conversation. Don't go anywhere yet, Beth. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back and we'll talk more. And, we'll let you tell everybody how they can follow you or get in the Facebook groups, what the names and things like that are. And so stay with us, and we'll be right back with more Making Connections with Aly.
It's your girl, Toya brand. I'm here to introduce my holistic company, Sea of Things, located in Atlanta, Georgia. We sell sea moss gel, seaweed, dry herbs, and all natural fruit juices. We can be reached online at seaoftings.square.site. We also ship nationwide. We can be reached on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter under Sea of Things.
So, you guys, you saw those two commercials. First of all, was Hope for All of Charlotte, and they are always in the community. I think this past week they gave away hygiene kits. They feed the homeless. They're preparing for the winter months. Collecting blankets, socks, and different things. And right now they're doing a donation where you can give a donation, and a homeless person will get an insulated cup. And so that's really major because a lot of times as they journey throughout the day, they may have had some cold water or some hot coffee or hot soup, whatever, but it in the winter months is going to get cold. So with these insulated cups, it helps them to keep their product either cold or hot as long as they need it. So, and I think it lasts for like 12 hours. So they are taking up donations for that. And then See if Things, again, a holistic company who's just bringing awareness to different things that happen in our body and how to fight inflammation and all kinds of stuff. So definitely, go to those pages, go to those groups, join in, just so you can get the information. And if you know somebody who's trying to, lose weight or just get their
Just had
life
a
back.
good detox.
Yeah, yeah. So it's all kinds of stuff, all kinds of good information for both of those groups. So I'll definitely tag them in the description of the video. And so, Beth, we appreciate you coming on today. And is there
Yeah.
anything you would like to share? Maybe I didn't think to ask, but anything you would like to share with the audience about either your journey or being a support for somebody else or joining the groups, anything?
Um, I think the biggest thing is that you have to realize you cannot change anybody's mind. That they have to, the light bulb for themselves has to go off, whether it's towards the information, like Flat, Fierce and Forward, or Fierce, Flat and Forward. I think, yeah, it's Fierce, Flat, Forward is the name of the group, which has different women at different stages of diagnoses to show you that we're all supportive. I may not have done this and I've done this, but it doesn't make us any different. You know, I'm here to tell you that the implants. Remember, you have to have surgery every 7 to 10 years, and I guess once you live that 7 to 10 years after the first diagnosis, you don't think because you're just in it's a conveyor belt of treatment, and it just moves on along until you say, wait a minute, slow down, slow down. Or like me, when you just do it all and then you're like, wait a minute, this is not all that, like I'm surviving. I feel like a big test tube, but I'm surviving. Um, I told them last night, I said, who knows? They don't know what they put in me. I could grow two boobs back. Who knows? You
Right.
never know, right? I mean, like, God could be really healing me.
Yep. Yep. Oh,
So,
bless
and leaning in on your faith, I think too. I think, you get a good foundation of because there's no other way to explain how or what is happening and how you're still surviving.
you. Well, listen, I know you and Jakina, like you said, are going in a couple weeks to Miami. I'm trying to think who my guest is that day, but if you're down there and you guys want to jump in, show us
Okay.
what's happening down there for a few minutes, that would be
I
great.
sure will because we're down there the 27th, I think, through that weekend, through the right
Okay.
before. Yeah. So it's like Thursday through Sunday. So
Okay, cool. Well, I would love to, jump in
it's
and,
called the Beehive.
the beehive.
The,
Listen, I love it. I love it. But again, and that's what I keep seeing and keep hearing is that this is not something you can do by yourself. I mean, you can. That is an option, but it would be so much better if you found a sisterhood, a tribe that will understand how you're
and see, I
feeling.
never wanted one. When I was in it, I was like, my mom kept saying, join a support group, join a support group. And I'm like, I don't want, back then at 37 was young to be diagnosed,
Hmm.
and so you didn't want to join a support. I want to join a support group with women in their 60s, 70s, and 80s who's already raised their kids because it's too, you, unfortunately nowadays it's so prevalent, even in the younger generations, that you're right, you can't do it alone. I mean, you need a tribe to raise your family. to get good, productive citizens.
Yeah, because I mean, there might be a time you just can't do it, but they'll have
Hmm.
an Auntie Allie or Auntie Beth online that they can turn to. And so,
Yep.
it makes the biggest difference in the world. I used to think I could do everything by myself, but I'm finding out, no. Even in entrepreneurship and all those things, you really need to find your tribe, find a community that's for you, some kind of commercial. And it's like, oh gosh, how does it say? It says, get the ones who get you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, uh-huh.
So
Yep.
the ones who don't, that's okay. They don't get it. But there are people out there who get you and will love you for you. And whatever decision you make on this journey, they'll just be there to support you, not to tell you what to do, but to support you and be there with whatever goes through. Because,
Straightening our crowns.
yeah, you never know from day to day
Yep.
what your experience
I
will
did
be.
a talk last weekend or 2 weekends ago on straightening your crown when the
Mm,
world doesn't know it. How you straighten it, and who God brings into your life to straighten it.
yeah.
Whether it's a stranger for 5 minutes to talk to, or somebody you're going to then lifelong friends.
Hmm. Hmm. So, but the help and support is out there. Do not be ashamed to ask. I mean, sometimes, maybe just good just to be in the atmosphere first.
And it's good if you're not used to doing a support group,
Yeah.
dip your toe into like a Facebook support group page or something like that, where you're not, you don't have to be out front and center, and you can control how much you put in or to get from it.
Hmm.
Uh,
Good idea. And what's your Facebook group again? Did you
I
guys
don't,
remember?
I, Flat, Fierce, and Forward is the name of that group. Yeah.
Oh,
And then there's Flat Out Love, um, Flat Retreat Community. So there's a lot of, those are more, like I said, more on the flat side. There's breast cancer, like Casting for Recovery, and, you different like Journey for Breast Cancers that are local on Facebook and stuff like that, where you can connect with people that are in your local area,
hmm,
um, and to get support that way. Because that's the biggest thing. It's hard to see beyond your shell that there's other people, four doors down that may not be in your initial group that you hang with, but they've got it. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, listen, just like Vivica Fox says she's like, I got my workout tribe, I got my savings tribe. Sometimes you need
Yes,
more than
yes,
one. So you do what you need to do to get
that's
through
true.
this
Yeah.
life and to live well. So,
Amen.
well, Beth, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you. I'm looking forward to, don't forget about me 2 weeks from now when you're in Miami now.
I'm sure Shanika will remind us. Shanika will remind us.
And yeah, I'm like sitting here thinking, let's see what I need to start planning my schedule for next year.
Do you want to ride to Miami? I can pick you up too.
Listen, I know. I'm like, what am I doing 2 weeks from now? I really did think that. So we'll talk. We'll talk. We're not that
Okay.
far from each other.
I know,
But
right? We're probably not, because I'm on the southern end of Virginia.
yeah, so we'll talk. We'll keep in touch. So you guys know we are making connections with Allie. We are here every Saturday at 12 noon, every Monday at 2 p.m. And don't forget to catch the replays on Thursdays at 7. Listen, don't forget, this is the awareness month for breast cancer, domestic violence. But listen, these are things that we deal with on a regular basis, on a daily basis. So take care of yourself all year long. Do what you need to do to make sure that you're well. Make sure you check on your family. It's okay. Tell them, let them know it's okay for them to talk to somebody besides you. So listen, just don't do this by yourself. Don't feel like you're all alone, because you're not. There's a lot of people out there who just look at all those people who showed up at the Go Across the Golden
Hmm.
Gate Bridge. Look,
And all that support, that love, because they automatically get you. They know everything you've been through.
yeah. So listen, we're here for you. If you didn't catch some information and you want to know more about Christy's group or how to get in touch with Beth, let us know. We'll definitely make the connection. That's what we are, making connections TV. And so, Beth, thank you again. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay,
And
thank you for having me.
you're welcome anytime. If you have a group that's doing something throughout the year, let me know. Send me the flyers, just like I do the other groups. I'll let people know what's going on. So, in case they need to reach out or be a
Thank
part.
you. Okay,
All right.
hashtag 420 flatties.
420 Flatties. I think we did a banner for that.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm the party one.
I can tell.
I know.
Nah, you're good. You're
All right.
good. All right.
You have a great afternoon.
You too. So until next time, as always, we're leaving you with love, positivity, and good vibes. Have a great day, everybody. Bye, Beth.
Bye bye. Bye.